Hello, everyone. I'm trying out something new. So I thought I would try out this live just to deliver some messages of inspiration. So I'm going to pull a few cards and deliver some messages if they come through from Spirit. And yeah, I'm just trying a new way. So bear with me as I learn how to use this. So my name's Stacy, and I'm sure most of you that will watch this already follow me and know me in some capacity. I'm a medium and a spiritual teacher, and I do readings and I teach classes and offer insight. And I've just been feeling called to expand into a new, not really a new way, but just making it more available for people to receive just some guidance and inspiration. Okay, so hopefully the volume's on. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few cards and I'm going to see what comes through today. So the way that I feel Spirit is I feel them energetically, and I have this connection of I feel energy on the side of my face. And so when I feel Spirit in that capacity, I know that it's a message that's trying to come through. And that's how they work with me. So I'm going to pull a couple cards from this deck, which is the Enchanted Map. I like this deck for myself. It's really simple, and it does have words on the cards, but what's most important when you're learning to read cards or interpret the message for yourself is that you look at the picture and you allow the picture to tell you what it is that you need to know for you. Okay, so the first card I pulled is Strength, and it's number 44. Hopefully you guys can see that. I have, again, this is my first time, so I'm not sure about the lighting yet. It's going to be kind of trial and error. So this card, when I look at it, makes me think of, carrying the world on your shoulders. And I'm hoping that everyone can see that. Again, I'll have to check about the coloring. Carrying the world on your shoulders, and I also feel to say creativity and a new dance or a new step. So basically how I work is intuitively. So I look at the card and it's just the tool, just like when I connect with Spirit, it's a tool that I use as something to look at while I'm receiving information. Okay, so I also feel to say there's a structured plan, there's a structured plan. And I feel that in the past, there's, I keep seeing like black and white, okay, very one way or this way, one way or the highway kind of feeling. And I feel like stepping into the new. And I feel this is about creativity, okay? Okay, interesting. The next card is the Goblins card. It's number 5. And the Goblins, as soon as I see that, now listen, I don't follow the deck, okay? I don't follow the book. I read them intuitively. So this makes me think about childhood and the monsters under our bed. And this card makes me feel like, first of all, the time frame or the season that we're in, it looks like the leaves are changing in this card. And so I also feel this is talking about change and change being scary and not knowing, what's to come. Part of my hesitation with learning to go live was, right, it's something new. And so the number 5 may be significant for someone. I will pull in whatever, there's the Spirit also trying to come through. I will also deliver that. I also want to say there's frogs that are important to someone. Frogs and toads, I feel to say. This feels very illusionary. So I keep seeing like hidden messages. in this card. I want to say hidden messages. And so I feel like I'm trying to reach something or look for something that might be hidden from me at this time, okay? But it's connected to seasons, okay? I also just got a sickness in my stomach, so this is also high work with spirit. I will feel things. So the sickness in my stomach makes me, you know, there's uneasiness here. And I feel, just mention again the number 5. So I'll repeat things as spirit tells me to. Okay. Interesting, this next card is into the unknown, which I just said before. So, right, we're stepping into the unknown. We're stepping into uncharted territory, you know. And this card, the number 7 card, she's dressed for, you know, dressed for something fancy. She's dressed for success, right? But she's feeling her way through it. And so usually the people in the card will represent a person to me. Usually it's the self or someone that you're dealing with. Usually for me, it's the self. And so you can, you know, relate it to yourself however it resonates. But I'm drawn to the bird in the card. So I'm supposed to mention something about the bird or the messenger, the messages of hope. I'm interestingly drawn to a very small piece in the card, which is a key. And the key has wings on it. Okay. And so remember, when we're going into the unknown, facing a new way of being, it can be very scary, but also there is divine guidance here. Okay. And so I feel like this also validates why I even came on here, because I feel like I'm supposed to talk to the collective of, you know, what we're each being individually tasked with, and then what we're being collectively tasked with. And, you know, I hear the show must go on too, right? In the background, you can see those curtains. And, you know, it makes me think that, interesting, I just heard a new dawn, a new day. So that might be for someone also. And I'm also drawn to the fact that one side of the card is very, it looks like it's dusk, and the other side is sunny, and there's a rainbow. Okay, so we could be talking about light and dark. We could be talking about emotions, highs and lows. We could be talking about, I keep wanting to go back to, you know, the way I once saw, which I see the Wizard of Oz movie, right? And that might be a message for someone too. The Wizard of Oz movie, how it started in black and white and then went into color. And so that might be a message for someone. I keep wanting to say a D name too, so that might be specific for someone. Either when I get a letter of a name, it's connected to someone who's in spirit or someone who's in the physical world that's of significance to you. Of course, and then I pulled the unexpected visitors card. So there could be someone trying to come through right now for you. And there's part of this that I feel like I want to say through the looking glass. And I also want to say barely scratch the surface. Hopefully you guys can see that. In time, I'll get used to kind of what lighting and stuff I need. But anyways, this is like where the door is only partially cracked. And so I feel this is also trying to perceive something that's coming, especially since the flow of the messages through the cards, you know, and they all kind of tie together to reveal a bigger message for someone. 41 is the number, so 4 plus 1 is 5, so they've had 2 5s. Okay, so 5 really is significance, and 5 represents change. Okay. I also feel like there's a message in here about fertility for someone and feeling hopelessness in that, but I see the rabbit. Okay, so the rabbit, again, that goes back to through the looking glass, trying to foresee something that's coming, but can only see from one perspective. You know, she's very low to the ground and she's in the doorway, but she hasn't fully stepped in that season yet. So I feel to say something in connection to that. I'm also drawn to the scroll work in this card, which scrolls make me think of writing. Okay, so writing could be significant for someone to receive answers. It is for me. That's how I channel. Okay, the next card is the Bone Collector. Again, I don't go based on what the card deck says. It's the number 1 card, so this tells me that there's a new beginning, right? So change is coming, new beginning is happening as number 1. I also feel there's a connection to, again, there's another rabbit in this card. Okay, so the rabbit is of significance. If it was a student who I was talking to or a client at this time, I would say, you know, you might want to look up the spiritual meaning of a rabbit because there's probably something that will resonate for you in that. There's a clock on this card, and so timing is of significance. The clock strikes 2 on this card. Okay, so February or the 2nd of a month could be significant for someone also. Also, because it's called Bone Collector, I keep being drawn in my awareness to the fact that the card says collector. Okay, and so we might have someone who is a collector of things or a collector of wisdom, a collector of some sort. And I feel very encircled by this, like all of it organized around me. Okay, I'm going to pull one more from this deck. Details, details. Okay, so this card is number 43. And in the card, clarity, this card I always love because clarity is written. And it says clarity in the magnifying glass, and it says important notes in small writing. And again, I feel like this is someone searching for information, searching for the details. Again, I'm drawn to the compass, but also there's a connection to time. There's a connection to information coming as it needs to come versus when we want it. Okay, and so this is a part I feel like I'm supposed to mention about how we receive information. Interesting. I just thought to add 4 plus 3, and that's 7. So we have 2 7s on the board too. So 7 is a very spiritual number, and I connect with the number 7 a lot. And it also could mean July or the 7th of a month for someone. I also feel to say it's in the details. Okay, so almost when we're looking from a broader perspective and the magnifying brings us closer in to look at what is important. I also feel to mention something about flames here or fire being significant. So because I'm drawn to that, it could be some connection to Aries energy, or it could be connection to, you know, the phoenix rising, right? The burning of the old way, the seasons of change. I hear the song, The Answers Are Blowing in the Wind. That comes up a lot for me in messages. Spirit uses songs for me a lot to get messages through. Okay, I'm going to pull from this other deck also. It's the Divine Feminine. I just got this deck recently. And so with this deck, I feel to focus. Okay, it's different people that are on the cards, but I feel to focus more on the messages that are coming through than the people. And some of these I might not even know how to say. Amaterasu, the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. This comes up a lot in relationships because people who we're dealing with, everyone that we're dealing with is reflecting back an aspect that we need to look at or we need to see, or an emotion. Okay. Again, this all of a sudden I felt to say the compass. So something really strong here with timing and direction is being brought to my awareness. I hear take time to take time. It's like, slowing down, and maybe that's what the details was, like slowing down and focusing on the details. All of a sudden I just got a scratchiness or a painfulness in my throat. Sometimes that's connected to someone who's coming forward. I also want to say a D name again is of significance. I keep hearing that. All of a sudden I want to say something about a bridge also that's of significance. And I'm here the number 7 repeating. Okay. The Queen of Heaven and Earth, Inanna. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. Okay, this card, of course, makes me think of worthiness. So whoever is focused on that right now, again, you can take all these cards and messages or just what resonates for you. If you have to try to force it, oh, my throat. Someone could have passed with a throat issue, or someone could also be dealing with a throat issue. Okay, for me, it's sometimes speaking our truth. And then I also just got a ping. I have a loved one in spirit who had an issue with their throat. So that's my frame of reference to know that someone's coming through in that way. I also feel a C name is significant. Okay, I'm drawn to the light in her crown area. She has a crown behind her, and it's shiny light, and she also has wings, and I feel that it's very protective. Okay, and so someone might need to hear this message, that you're protected and guided, and that you don't need to feel shame or sadness or need to hide parts of yourself. Okay, this is a part of process of being vulnerable. And she's naked in the card, which anytime someone's naked in the card, that's a symbol of vulnerability to me. I feel that someone's challenged with worthiness. Someone's challenged with worthiness and trying to break free from the old ways of thinking and doing and being. And that could also represent the Wizard of Oz, the dark and the light, you know, the black and white, and then going into a space of seeing color. Rita of Cascia, the patroness of impossible causes. My friends who watch this will be like, you're reading those incorrectly, especially my one friend. But I'm doing the best I can, so read it as best I can. I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. Again, creating change, okay? So remember that spirit works through us in order to create. You know, I'm drawn to the fact that her head is lit up also, right in her third eye area. And so I feel to mention, if someone's been seeing images, to trust the images that they're seeing, especially when you're setting your intention to receive, then trust what those images are that you see. I feel that there's an offering here for someone, and I also see a bee, like a bumblebee is of significance, and it's in the heart chakra area. And so I feel someone may be dealing with healing the heart area, or I'm drawn to maybe someone who passed of the heart issue, and bees could be a significant symbol for them. Again, take what resonates and leave the rest. I feel like there's an offering here. The message is that there's an offering. Okay, I feel to stop with that deck. So I'm going to pull a couple tarot cards also, just from the original tarot deck. It's really the main one that I use. And I'm at my mom's right now, so I don't have all my decks. Because I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try this live out today. I also feel like I'm supposed to talk about someone's anxiety. And then I'm hearing someone argue, like, whether to take medicine or not. And when I hear that, I know that there's also alternative medicine. If someone's opposed to, you know, a certain kind of medication or receiving help for this, I actually hear a couple of things popping in my mind. There's many tools that can be used. Lavender is calming and soothing, so you could use that topically on you. I also hear CBD oil would be of significance to help someone relieve anxiety. And then I'm also getting like depression or seasonal depression, because the way that Spirit's showing me that is like the blues. Okay, so when I see the blues, it's like sundown syndrome. Okay, there's natural healing remedies you can look up. and use your discernment, and you can reach out and get help from me or someone else also in trying to discern if that's something that will work for you. There's lots of herbs and remedies that that can be used and that work well for people. Um, so I felt to say that. Okay. Every time I see the Ace of Cups, I hear my cup runneth over. This is a really good card. For me, again, I read intuitively. I do not follow a certain rules. Anyone who knows me knows that. Anytime water comes into the picture, it's about emotion. It's also about purging and releasing. It's also about flow for me. Keep wanting to say an offering. I also feel to say the letter M is of significance. And I feel hope is coming in the form of emotions. So other people coming to the table in order to give insight or help. I feel that that is meeting an emotional need. I also feel to say all of a sudden, remember, all emotional needs aren't always met by one person, but can be a group of people who each person meets a different need. I hear a Carrie Job song, which is Let Your Glory Fall. But for me, that makes me feel joyful, but it's also still connected to release. So when I feel connected and when I feel in flow and when I'm feeling of hopeful and inspiration, I feel like that's what it is. My cup runneth over. Okay. Again, I'm drawn to the frog or toad again. There's no frog or toad in this card, but spirit will repeat things if necessary, because all of a sudden I was drawn to that there's a lily pad and lotus in this card. Okay, the Ace of Swords. Interesting. 2 aces. Okay, swords are, of air, of mental energy for me. This is interesting. I'm drawn to in this card, and every card I can interpret different day because it's based on what the message is that someone needs to hear. I feel this is connected to seasons because I see spring and I see winter. And I also, when I see the crown, it makes me think of remembering who you are. That's what's been significant in my journey, is the crown representing remembering who you are in the spiritual sense as opposed to in the human sense. I feel like I've traveled near and far in order to get to the place that I'm at. And the way that I'm receiving that is by looking at the mountains in the cards. I feel like this is also an offering from spirit. Okay. Every time I see the hand that's reaching out from the sky, it's an offer of me. It's an offer to me. And I'm interestingly also drawn to the fact that there's one hand leading this way and one hand leading this way. And it makes me think that both directions that someone could choose could offer something. Okay, so I also feel like this is a reminder that one path is not right and one path is not wrong, right? Both paths have value. Okay, so when making a decision or change is coming, now listen, that's easier said than done. I get it, but it's really discernment on how far I've gone, how far I've been to get me to this point in the road. And I feel this is connected to taking my power back. Again, I think I said that a couple times, but because of the crown and because of the sword, it makes me think that. Let's see what else comes up. Reading tarot is not my first thing. Mostly just doing readings just intuitively. I do things called galleries, or where it's group readings and I just channel spirit or channel messages. Okay, the number 3 is of significance. This is the 3 of Pentacles. Pentacles always have to do with the earth plane. So worldly things we're talking of, money, home, anything in the earth field. Family, I feel to say. This is, it also makes me think of the Trinity because the stars are very significant. I feel like this is consultation for some reason. I'm hearing consultation. It's where someone's asking for help or asking direction. Okay. And I also feel like, you know, the other man is shifting to pausing from work. Okay. So this might be a message for someone pausing from work or pausing from taking action in order to receive guidance or insight. Okay. So maybe it's someone who's always doing, and is not stopping to look inward. Okay. Um, I hear the song Butterflies, Butterfly Kisses. So butterflies could be significant to someone. I'm just going to pull two more and then we'll see how this video looks. Six of Cups and the 10 of Wands. I feel that's incomplete, so I'm going to pull three more. Usually I always pull 3, 6, or 9. It's just, again, there's no right or wrong. It's just your intuition on what you feel like you need for completion of a message. So I feel that this is about love, and in many aspects, not just relationship with two people, but loving self, because I'm also going into the shadows. Okay, there's a part in this card that there's a man walking back in the shadow. You see him? And remember, Cups is about emotion, feeling, and there's something growing and flourishing here, because in every cup there's a flower growing in the shape of a star, which I said is significant, and it's an offering. You know, there's an offering here. Part of me wants to say there's a message in here for someone about a house. Because I feel transformation. When I say that, I see like a old cottage and then a castle. And so there's something of, you know, transformation. Again, I feel like it pops in my head about, like, I don't watch TV very much, but one of those shows where they like restoration, where they restore a house. That might be a message for someone. And the 10 of Wands always makes me think, okay, Wands is spiritual energy to me, and a 10 is a completion. But this man, every time I see this card, I always think of trying to do it all alone. Again, I feel like there's a big message here about trying to do it all alone, letting others help you, getting insight. So whoever that's for. I also feel to say there's someone that's significant with blonde hair. All of a sudden I was drawn to his blonde hair. He's holding it all together. You know, he or she, right? I read it the way that I see the card, but you can interchange the meaning for yourself. He's not aware of what's going on in the background. He's hyper focused on his job and his duty to get something done. But I also feel like he's missing the bigger picture, or missing what's happening in the present moment, because he's trying to hold it all together, because he's trying to do it all on his own. And again, I feel to take a breath and come back into the present moment, that while work is happening, that there's also blessings within this present moment. You know, again, I keep wanting to say offering. Okay, I love the Magician card. He's one of my favorites. You know, for me, and probably for the overall meaning, is he has all the tools that are needed. And so, interesting, when I was on the phone with my friend today, I said, I see the infinity symbol. The number 8 is significant. This is on this card, so that could be significant to someone too. This is the beginning. This is when you've come to the place where you can now create what needs to be created, because you have all the tools. And so there's an accomplishment aspect here. I want to say the color pink is of significance because I'm drawn to the pink flowers. I also feel to say Lily or Lilydale for some reason. Lilydale is a place in New York. You can look it up. Maybe it might be significant to you. I'm drawn to a lot of the flowers. So like the types of flowers. So someone could really be into these certain, I don't see gardenias on here, but I feel to say that is significant. And bluebells. Okay. I am drawn to the fact that he's pointing down at the ground. One hand's pointing down, one hand's up. And so I feel like there's, again, someone's receiving a message about direction, okay, and perspective, being able to interpret. And the way to be able to interpret what is right for you is in your feeling body, in your intuition. So I just feel reminded to say, having all the tools and trusting self is really the key ingredient here that the magician has. He's able to create because he's received the tools. I still feel the cult. Okay, interesting. So the last card I pulled is the Lover's card, which is Gemini energy. The Garden of Eden has been coming up a lot for me, and this card always reminds me of that, and it always makes me think of Archangel Uriel. And that might not even be the angel that's in this card. I don't know. I use my intuition just to say what I'm supposed to say. But looking over things, okay? And so there's a process of destruction here and a process of growth here. So something of the past is moving out, changing, is leaving, is being burned, okay? And then there's creation energy. So you see there's fire and there's what I call the Garden of Eden, right? The snake is all about transformation. I feel to say too, I'm drawn to sleep and drawn to reflect because the angel's eyes are closed. And remember, our clearest vision, I'm brought back to the clarity card again. Our clearest vision is when we go inward, when we go into the inward aspect of what do I need to see, because what we see comes here. Okay. And so readers, people that do what I do, we can validate what you already know. That's kind of what this is about, as opposed to telling you the answers, right? And so insight will come as puzzle pieces that validate that you're on the right path, or validate, oh, that's who's in spirit for me, or right, whatever it is will validate for you. I feel like there's a resting aspect here and an insight, a reviewing of cycles, I also feel to say. I want to say, come hell or high water, right? Spirit will give me these words to say because they'll be significant for somebody. Anyways, I hope that was helpful to someone. I'm not sure what this will turn into or what it will look like as I keep moving forward, but I felt to try this out just to give some messages of inspiration, and hopefully it brought some insight for someone, or at least an understanding of how the cards are read. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's based in your intuition, and first you have to be able to trust yourself to receive guidance, and everyone's in their own aspects of learning trust. Some seasons are easier and some seasons are harder to trust yourself on the information that comes forward. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you guys again soon.